Hi everyone, welcome to a new Express Flute Tips video. Today I would like to speak about the breathing and also more concretely about the use of the air bow, what I call the air bow, basically referring to the bow control that the string instruments could have, but translating that into the flute or into the wind instruments, which has nothing to see, but at least we should at least have in mind that it's so crucial as for a string instrumentist to have a very precise and very internalized control of the bow technique. And for us, the bow technique is basically how we blow into the instrument and how we breathe and how we anticipate the contact points. That's what I am going to speak about today. First of all, about the breathing. It's a very interesting topic. We can speak a lot about that, and very interesting books and methods and around. Basically, I want to share with you something that can sound basic, but sometimes we forget, including myself, a lot of times playing. And it's that basically we should always have in mind that we have to anticipate what we are playing. And for that, breathing has a crucial role, I think. So it's not the same if we have to start, for instance, something which is that if it was it can sound, yes, as I said, very basic, but I think it's not. And we should always breathe with calm or with the character that we have to play, because it's much more easy. If we have to play it's not the same that if we have to play and then Brahms 4 comes later. Yes, but okay, again, it can sound something very simple, very basic, but sometimes we really do forget. And I'm not saying like that we have to breathe as an upbeat. This is more when we play together with other people. It can be super helpful. Well, not helpful, that's basic to be together, to breathe and bam, no? This technique, I'd say it's developed more in chamber music playing. Sometimes it can be very strange to give an entrance to ourselves, but I think it's much more easy, basically, to play. And also it helps us to anticipate what is the sound that we want to create. Here comes the second step about that. Sometimes it's not so natural, let's say. At least in my case, I cannot start like, okay, Debussy Prelude à l'après-midi d'un front, no? I cannot start as an upbeat. I cannot start like, because I have not enough air. So then comes another thing, which is like we have to breathe very relaxed, creating already the empty feeling that we are going to have later when we have the sonority. This okay, having that in mind, we should anticipate when we are breathing. I think that helps. But the breath has to be much more long, and it will not be related with the beat. So we basically keep breathing from ages before, and then I think there is one moment that we block. There is like a blocking, and then we wait, and then we know where is the point that we start to blow. And that's it's not sudden, that's something very subtle. It starts very little, and then with a little bow again, and it starts one, and the sound comes. And I think this is very important to develop. Of course, this is something in the end also very intuitive, but I think we can really practice that. No, the feeling of etc. It can be even longer. It depends on the tempo, it depends on what we want to do musically as well. But this technique, I think it's very important also for flute playing. At least I do it a lot of times. So it's not only upbeat and we play, so like I showed before. Okay, for that I have at least, I think there is an exercise that is very useful and I do a lot. Not for warming up, it's from when I already warm up, then I do this because it's quite demanding for everything. And for me it's an exercise that really it's about the control of the air. Basically it is doing that I have done the same that I have done with this prelude, but with all the notes, all the registers. And then what I do also very different is that I breathe before. So I breathe, very calm down, with no relation with the tempo. I have enough air because I'm going to play a long note, and then what I do is that I start to blow, but I don't produce any sound. And then I play with the feeling with the embouchure, with the airspeed, etc. I'm just investigating where is the moment that the note starts to speak. And then I know where is the contact point, you know what I mean? And then I develop the note, and then I try to make diminuendo again to get to this first contact point and to make again that the air continues and it doesn't sound. This is what I try. Sometimes it's not, it can be very impossible to do always super control, but I think it's so healthy exercise. Basically, it would be like that. In both cases, I started blowing and then the note came. This I think is very important because it can be very helpful. I don't know, especially for when we want to play higher notes. It's very helpful for some entrances because then we can make it faster and we can make it, not audible. And we can make it basically faster so that it works musically as well, so that it's not an exercise. But I think this feeling of blowing just a little bit and then it sounds, it's very helpful for this kind of entrances like the ones I did now. In the low register maybe it's more easy to achieve, so to start with, but then I apply that also to the top register. I don't know, I know that a lot of people sometimes, we all struggle with wanting to with this note, for instance, for the full-length sonata, the cantilena, the second movement, it's difficult to start. A little bit, sometimes it cracks. Yeah, I think that to practice that, okay, perfection also not exists. We can always have a crack, and yeah, but important is to know what happens. Well, what happened? Maybe we didn't have enough pressure. Maybe it was not well placed in the place that the note has to be. But sometimes also it's because we had not breathed properly. We are not well placed in our bodies. It's not, we don't have this preparation for the note. This is what I'm talking about. It's this exercise. It's for everything. It's for being prepared. Then I'm there. I try to blow. I try not to make it sound because it doesn't sound below. It's not, and it sounds like that. No, No, it's for having this kind of precision, see what happens when it starts to sound, then I learn from there because, a little bit more because otherwise it sounded a little bit a little lower note, so. Then we can speed that. And then eventually we get this kind of attack. But it's not this. That's not that. Because the difference is that before I have blown into the instrument a little bit and then it sounded, and the second one, it's direct. It's not that it's wrong or good. It's simply different. It depends on what we want. Maybe we want to start the note directly, and then of course we go like that. But if you want this other attack, we should really practice and have very clear where, and I think that it helps a lot if we breathe micro blow and then it sounds. I don't know how to explain, it's very concrete feeling, but doing that with the exercise, slow motion, I think we are preparing ourselves before breathing. We are also playing a lot with the contact point, and then we are playing with the air speed and the sustain. So for me that's the definitive, let's say definitive, but very good exercise for the control of the bow, no? With even higher notes. And eventually we can make it faster as I'm doing now. And then we can get this attack that is not concrete, but we know where not to speak. I mean, it's difficult, but I think that at least it's a good approach I have, and I wanted to share with you. I hope it was helpful, and go to try that out and let me know if that works. I think that's somehow healthy when one is warmed up to try this out. And also, it's another variant is to try to develop more the note, and then we're also practicing to find more space, but that's for another chapter maybe. So, thanks a lot, I hope that was helpful for you, and see you in the next video. Ciao!